how do you dethrone a king? So we're going to dive slightly into the dynamic between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton in that competitive environment. But I've got leaders of industry next to me, Anne-Marie Meyer and Eddie Magale, Group F&I at Midmac Motors and Branch Manager at Midmac Motors. So the reason for this masterclass is we want to provide the viewers some insight on competition. Sometimes you're competing against a guy or a girl in your office or in your environment or at your job that's a lot further than you in your career. But there is a few things and tactics and strategies that you can apply so that you can beat them. You don't need to go the distance of 20 years in an industry and then only being able to knock them out. You can beat them quite early if you are savvy and you can apply the tactics that we're going to share with the customers here. Are you ready?
Yeah,
Like always.
Always ready.
Let's do it. Thank you. Max Verstappen arriving at Formula One as the youngest ever driver in history. 17 years old.
Yeah.
The Red Bull team called him the next Ayrton Senna, as good if not better than him. So that's big shoes to fill. So I want to quickly dive into the competitiveness when you arrive at work. We've got 6 branches, 6 branch managers. You are not the youngest, but you are probably the youngest in the position, yet you're excelling. So we're going to unpack some of those strategies for the audience to have a dive into and see how do you compete against guys that have been doing this for 10 years and still kick their behinds. So Anne-Marie, you have dethroned many, many kings and queens. Your work ethic is amazing. Your ability to analyze systems and constantly improve is a secret weapon that you have. So we all know that. And I think if you don't mind sharing some insight into that so that people that are competing up against veterans can see a side, if I might call it lane, a side lane that they can use to fast track their success. So having an acronym for this episode, I thought FAST would be a good one. So let's get into it. FAST, F for faster. Eddie, what does faster say to you in terms of competing against your competitors internally and externally?
Yeah. So it's 2 ways of looking at it, right? You want to compete, but you want to set records that no one can ever think of. And those should be personal records that you want to achieve. It makes the game easier then, because if you're looking at achieving 100 and everybody in your market is looking at achieving 100, you set your record at 200. No one is aiming for 200, so you stand a very good chance of winning so far than anyone can ever imagine. But speaking of fast, we're living in an economy that's growing very fast. And the fact that the opportunities are equal to everyone in competition, what you want to do is you need to realize the opportunities that comes. In this business, you want to see that client that walks in as the only opportunity that you're getting for the day. You need to act as quick as possible. If you receive a lead, you need to know that, okay, this is an opportunity for me to elevate myself from where I am at this moment. So you want to make sure that the client gets serviced as quick as possible. You need to give as much information as possible. I mean, to come think of it, a few years back, it would take you a day or two to buy a car. I believe everybody now is trying to do it within 3 hours. In my head, I see it possible in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out how to get there, but I know very soon we'll get there. And by the time we do the 30 minutes, it will be for everybody that's in the competition to try and do 30 minutes. And I believe at that time I'll be looking at doing it in 10 minutes.
Of course.
Yeah.
So speed is important. Speed to customer, speed to execution, speed, whatever part of the process you are in, speed is the number one differentiator when it comes to hello and congratulations on your purchase.
That's correct. That's correct. I mean, with Verstappen right now, he obviously needs speed, but there's quite a number of other factors that you'd have to look at. There's a system in place, and to gain speed, you need to study the system and do your best to improve the system.
So for the fans and for the subscribers that are watching, that are not commission earners like us, so office job or admin job that is very repetitive, very repetitive. What does speed mean to that person? And if you've got the ambition to grow in the company, how can you use the concept of speed to be noticed, and then the concept of speed to be elevated? What would you say is important there? So let's say I'm going to paint a picture, just a thumbsuck. I'm an admin person. I work in a lawyer's office, and I need to take notes, and then I need to go and type those notes and present them to the lawyer. What does speed mean for me there?
Given such a position, what's most likely to happen, obviously, there will be a system that's followed in that office. You come in, this is what you do, and. But obviously what you want to do in that situation is you need to study exactly what you're doing on a day. You need to study your activities. There is always a way. There's always a way to improve on what you're doing.
But it's growth in the company.
So let's paint a picture. I'm the admin person, and you are the attorney. So maybe just some insight of how I would do it. Sir, the previous person that did this for you, how long between finishing the writing of the notes, typing it out, and putting it on your desk?
His answer is most probably going to be as long as I have it the late afternoon. That I think in an admin position, if that is your main role, I think the answer will be as long as I have it before you go home.
Okay, so
and then immediately.
So when would you be very impressed to have it by? What time?
I won't even ask. I'll just make sure I have it on his desk before 10.
Okay, nice angle. So
if
then
I
you set a
ask,
standard.
it seems like I'm expecting from him to tell me, but I need to prove to him, and that's gonna give me that edge in that market.
100%. Then you've set a standard. You've raised the bar. So now the challenge with that is you need to keep raising the bar and never let it fall. So
Definitely.
if I bring you the document at 10 o'clock, I can never ever bring it to you later than 10 again.
But you've set the standards.
There we go.
You ask once, you get the product back, and the lawyer, if he's happy to get it afternoon, 4 o'clock before I leave the office, that's fine. But that's not going to be my style, because I need to grow. He needs to eventually depend on me so badly that office, I'll take over the management of that office.
Absolutely.
Am I right? Fast,
Absolutely.
speed, that's what we need.
Okay, action. You're an action person.
You chose action for me.
Yes.
Because I'm all about action.
Yeah, action. And it's not Friday action night.
It's not Friday
It's
action
Midmac
night.
Masterclass action point.
Okay. All right, everyone that knows me, I am busy, always on the run, but that's not the only action. I believe in employees, you need to understand their personalities. You need to understand what makes them tick. So that is my first action and my main goal every day when I walk in.
Let's take a junior F&I by you, okay? Or because it's in our industry, or let's take someone outside of our industry. I am a cashier at a petrol station. I just thought of that. How can I take action to be noticed and to be elevated?
Well, exactly the same as what we said on the previous example. If I employ that person, I would employ the person. Obviously, you need to train them. You need to do it with that person. That is very important to me. So that is my first point of action in any position. Myself as a manager, I must have the ability to do the job. I just can't see fit with any manager that can't do the job themselves. So I need to be able to show him. I need to be able to sit with that person for him to do it. And then I need to watch and overlook. But then I want energy.
Yeah, as a person that is taking this advice and applying it to their own job, if I take action in a way that you don't need to watch me and walk me through the steps all the time, I just take action and I do the steps continuously. Take action,
That's
take
what
action.
I want.
Will I be noticed
action.
then?
Yes, you will be noticed.
Will I be elevated?
Action. Of course.
Awesome.
That's what I want. Action, and that is. So the moment someone, and if you're in a position where no one shows you how to do it, find out.
Yes,
Because
take
that is
action.
action. Take action.
100%.
Do. You applied for that job. You accepted the position. So take action.
Yeah.
Do it. Make it work.
Good. Third point, S stands for systems. S stands for systems. I think you both qualified on systems. I want to touch on the system that you have in your mind of how you do things, because we've refined that over and over again.
Yeah.
And we keep on refining, and it's something that always evolves and changes. So everything that you do, in my opinion, should be systemized. You wake up, you brush your teeth, it's a system. You drive to work, it's a system. You drive a certain route, it's a system. System. So I'm going to ask you a two-part question. So you taking action and planning your day in terms of this is what I do then, is that important? And how can that improve your chances of being seen and be elevated? And systems in terms of technology. How can I use systems in order for me to go out and compete against the bigger person or the bigger guy in the office or that scary guy at the office, and using systems, kick his behind or her behind. So you can take it off first.
The biggest blessing would be to have an opportunity to do something again. So having the opportunity to wake up and go to work the following day definitely is the opportunity to check on the system that you apply on a daily basis. What is the results? Obviously, you need to measure. You have to measure that if I walked in today, we set a goal with the team. We said, listen, team, this is what we're doing for the day, and this is how we're going to do it. So we follow the steps, 5 steps set, and by tomorrow we realize, okay, we've hit the goal, but now we have to set a new goal. Today, we have to deliver, for an example, 10 units end. How are we going to do that? Improve the system. Where did we fail yesterday? Where did we fail the day before? Okay, we just need to go and refine here and there. New system in place. Tomorrow we try it again. Constantly. And obviously, there should be elevation there. What you don't want to do is to just come back to work daily.
And hope for the best.
Yeah.
So
look in the sky and hope.
You need to systemize your actions. And Sorry?
Sorry. A system for me is time. And time is money. And we all know that. And for me, a system, so you've got a system, how you get to work, what is the process, and how I handle a client. And in any job, that is important. But a system is also something that you apply to the job where you don't need to think. So you know there's certain things I do in a diary. So I meet my staff at 7:15 in the morning. We quickly take notes. I don't need to think about that again. So if that system is a handwritten note, a book that you carry around, or a tablet, or a cell phone, or an Excel spreadsheet, doesn't matter. You have to have a system that take human intervention out of it. So if departments want to fulfill each other, there must be a system that automatically, you've got suddenly a PA. Yeah. But that's not a person, but it's already done for you. So system is definitely time, and but you need to implement and you need to change on a constant basis.
And what's not tracked?
And you need to track it.
Because what's not tracked can't be improved.
Yeah.
If it's not measured, it can't be improved.
You need to do that. And systems eventually is going to save you time, and time is money.
Yeah.
And that is how we create more value to our day.
You can think of the days where, for some reason, you can't make it to the office. What happens if you don't have a system in place? Everything falls apart.
Yeah.
So those are the best days where you can test the system that you've put into place. If you can take a day or two and not be in the office and everything still runs smoothly,
got a good system.
that suggests that you've got a system in place that should definitely be kept.
And it's not only for business, it's for personal life as well. If I know you need to do your washing at a certain day, why wait? And every month it's a mess if you don't have a set routine. You know you do washing Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, for instance. Now suddenly you're just leaving it. That is a system. So it's so part of your lifestyle that it doesn't interfere anymore. It's something that you don't think about it anymore.
There we go.
Very much true. If I didn't run it if I didn't read a book on my way to work, I've already broken the system.
Yeah.
The guy that's going to pitch at the office is not the guy that's supposed to be there on that day.
Yeah. Because a certain amount of things needed to happen until this time of the day, then you're normal. I've got the same thing.
Now that you've mentioned the book, listening to a book on your way to work.
Hope you don't read a book on your way to
No,
work.
we listen to it.
I'll have
and
to be,
there
I'll
was
have
a
to
couple of
be
times
an F1 driver to do that.
There was a couple of days on my system where I thought, Anne-Marie, you're failing your own system. You listen to a book while driving, so you can't make notes.
Yeah,
And eventually
I've
I want
got
to
that
make
problem.
notes. We've all got that problem. But after 3 months of this now, every month asking myself the same question. I picked up my cell phone, so while driving, it's just quickly a quick note to myself
Yes.
on specific time frame, because I can see it on my radio or whatever was said.
Yeah.
So I don't need to re-listen the whole book.
Yeah, and you
Or
can take
if
notes.
I need to do that, so I just take notes by my own personal voice notes.
Yeah.
And that is a system. So I've stopped blaming myself of wasting time. And thought to myself, Anne-Marie, you could better listen to music. But no, I can't, because you're already into that system doing that.
Yeah.
It's a system, it's time, it's money.
The last letter of the acronym is T, track. So we touched on it briefly. If
It's
you don't track, you
systems.
can't improve.
You
So
need to track it.
it's a, if I may, I don't know what's the right way to describe it, but one leads to the other. If you don't have a system, you can't track it.
You have to. It's like doing laundry.
If you can't track it, you can't improve
I can
it.
track it. I know. I don't think about it anymore. It's not interfering with my lifestyle anymore. It's like taking out the meat from the fridge in the morning, because if you don't do that, it's going to take you longer tonight. So
It's a
again,
system in place.
it's a system in place. It's like the office. It's like listening to our books.
So
You
this-
must be able to track.
The system that Max Verstappen needs to implement is the system of cornering at corner 9. The system is, this is the approach speed, this is the turn-in angle, this is where I press the brakes, this is where I go in and hit the apex, this is where I'm flat on the accelerator. The tighter that system, the more chance of success of him beating
can
Hamilton by
bet you-
0.002 seconds.
And I can bet you every time that he goes around that course, there's notes.
100%.
Exactly with little timings.
100%.
And the whole map is played out.
And because his system is tighter than everybody else, he gets paid the big bucks.
Yeah, for sure.
He
for
will
sure.
not drive that course over and over without a system, without tracking, without improving. It's improving.
Going into competing amongst other dealers in an environment that is predominantly elderly male and, I won't say set in their ways, but, they've dominated the industry for many years. Coming in as a young entrepreneur, I had to work out, how do I compete with a guy across the street from me? So I've made a few notes. So I need to know what my weakness is. At that time, we had probably a quarter of the amount of cars that they had. So that was our weakness. What was their weakness? I didn't know yet. So after doing some digging, I got their working hours. So I saw that as a weakness, and I'll tell you how. I had to master a couple of things that I did a lot better than they did, and I need to double up on that. And then the last part is to always remember to compete up. So in your office, you can't compete against a new branch manager. You need to compete against the best branch manager to dethrone him. So in your environment, you can't pin the two junior people against two very senior
No,
people.
you
You have
can't
to
do
you have to
that.
pin them at the ability. But going back to the dealership, so the owner's son of that dealership comes to me and he says to me many years later, how do I beat you? I said, what do you want to beat me for? In which way would you like to beat me? Now, how do we sell more cars than you? I said, well, let's unpack that question, and I'll get into the weaknesses and the strengths and how it all ties together. And it's a story that I haven't really told anybody, but we're going to share it here. So I said, right, sir, what time do you get to work? And he says to me at about 8:30 to 9. And what time do you go home? So he said to me between 4:30 and 5. I said,
There's your advantage.
I said, you'll never beat me. And he was wide-eyed and he was surprised. He said, why? I said, because I have 3 hours on you in the morning and 3 hours on you in the evening. I work 6 hours longer per day. If you times that by 6, I work 36 hours longer per week. How much time is that per month? So I've worked in the month of January 2 times longer than you have. How are you going to beat me? You can't beat me. Even if I'm bad at my job, you still can't freaking beat me.
No ways, yeah.
So that's analyzing a weakness of an opponent and then taking...
But that for him is almost the end of the discussion. And I
Yeah,
bet
that's
you
where the discussion... We
got-
had tea afterwards.
We've got systems in place that even give us more hours.
Of course. We
We've
buy
got-
time through
we
technology.
buy time. I have to. In our positions, and for all the other F&Is out there, you need to buy time. You can't get to the office and sit there and only load an application and sign up a client. You need to invent systems to make it better and do more and sell more and get your sales staff to bring in more. But to just sit around for hours, I think most of us has got the belief that just sitting around, I rather sleep than sitting around, because the hours that I'm awake, I want to work.
Of course.
And I want to increase those hours. So if I work 12 hours a day, I need to get out of it eventually 16.
Yeah.
And where I got it from as a very, very young girl, so workshops. When I started in the industry many years ago, I could just not understand the fact how a workshop sell time.
Yeah, they sell time.
They only work 8 hours, but they need to book 14 hours. And I just could never understand that.
Systems.
And I just decided I will apply that to my own office and to my own lifestyle. So eventually at the end of the day, and that is with faster, the action, with the systems, and with tracking it. I need to get more out of my day.
Yeah.
And that was course of a workshop that I walked into and picked it up. And we can apply it.
The most interesting thing is everybody wants to win. Everybody wants to win their competition.
Everybody says they want to.
But how
win.
hard? Yeah.
But the question is, are you willing to do what it takes to win?
So let me ask you this. You say everybody wants to win. It's Thursday night. It's 9 o'clock. The three of us are still working. We've been working since 6 o'clock in the morning. That's what time we start. It's 9 o'clock. We've worked 15 hours today. Okay? So does anybody else in our industry work 15 hours a day?
I hope.
I'm going
But,
back to your story. You checked how much time your competitor was willing to put in.
So there we
And-
go. Depending on how much you want to elevate, is going to require this much work
Yeah.
to produce a certain result. So that alpha male that walks into the room that everybody's scared of and that everybody makes nervous, and or rather that alpha male makes everybody nervous, he probably just outworks everybody. That's why he makes everyone nervous.
And yes, guys, don't get it wrong. Don't go and work 15 hours if you just sit around for 8 hours.
Yeah.
You know how I hate it. Don't then come to my office.
Yeah.
That's when
Come to work.
Yeah.
We'll play hard, we'll work hard.
Yeah.
But come to work.
Great. So in closing, the advice that I would share with everybody is always compete up.
Yeah.
Never compete down, because then you're a bully. So always compete up. You know, the motto is we don't bully, we don't get bullied, and we like bullying the bully. So that's what we want to do. We want to bully the bully. So compete up. Know what the bully's weakness is. Know what your own weakness is. Everybody, you have to be very clear with yourself. Say, listen, I'm weak in these 4 areas. I am. But it's not a blind side. I know I'm weak in these 4 areas, and I'll protect my weaknesses as much as I can. Specialize in that area that you are competing up against. So, for example, the dealer across the street, I specialized in the area of outworking him in terms of time. I specialized in that area, and I went all out. I wanted to win 6 hours a day so that in 3 months I dethroned him. You know, he was the big bully and the big giant in the industry. 3 months later, I caught up to him, and he's never seen me again. And hopefully he never does, unless he applies the strategy to me, which I hope he does, which will mean I have to level up again. But in closing, know your weaknesses, know the bully's weaknesses, specialize, make sure that you are going down a lane where you are exceptionally good at whatever it is that you're competing against, and have fun.
Keep on improving.
You need to remember to be fast as well.
Always remember to be fast.
Yeah.
Team, I hope you guys enjoyed the discussion. I know I did. I'm energized. I can go another 15 hours without sleep. To the people on the camera, inside the camera, chilling on the couch, watching it on the cell phone, if this video brought you value, if you feel like, wow, it was awesome spending time with those three beautiful, handsome, beautiful individuals, then hit the thumbs up button as well as the
Like and share.
yeah,
Or ring a bell.
and subscribe. There we go. Thank you very much, everybody. Take care.